Hello again, everyone, and welcome to A Short Stop with a Short Stop. Today we're going to talk a little bit about mental toughness.
And the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall arise.
In the church, mental toughness means putting yourself second. But before we get to that, some of the players in the big leagues that had extreme mental toughness because they put the team in front of themselves. If you look at some of the outfielders, you go on YouTube and look at some of the plays that Ken Griffey Jr. made running into the walls. He was willing to give his body up. And Bo Jackson, I've never seen a guy caught one and then ran 2 or 3 steps on the wall and made some plays. And there's other outfielders that did the exact same thing. And then some of your infielders that when they're returning double plays at second base or shortstop that would allow their bodies to be taken out by the runner coming in. I used to watch Ozzie Smith, and naturally I'll throw myself in there. Probably don't need to, but I will. And you look at your catchers, and I grew up watching Johnnie Bench and the way he blocked the plate, the way he was willing to put his body in front of another player coming in on him. And then Ray Fosse, which a lot of people have seen during the All-Star game when Pete Rose ran over him and separated Fosse's shoulder. But yet he was willing to put himself in front of the team at that time. And then some of your pitchers, Bob Gibson and Nolan Ryan, a lot of times those guys will go out there with sore arms. A lot of times they would go out there without their best stuff. But they would always put the team in front of themselves. But how could they do that? And it was because that they had mental toughness. And then I was listening to a thing the other night, Michael Phelps. He was an Olympic swimmer, and he won a ton of gold medals. He said mental toughness is doing the things when you're uncomfortable. And he talked about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going swimming in a cold pool, doing so many laps that he was just fatigued after he was done. But he was putting the Olympic team in front of his own body, but yet what he was doing, he was helping the team to win. And, I listened to a thing on Steph Curry the other night, probably the greatest three-point shooter that's ever been. But he shoots 500 shots a day, 7 days a week. And, he doesn't have to do that, but he does. It's a mental toughness. And my own definition of mental toughness is it means you can sustain no matter what circumstances that you're in. That you can control your emotions and not make emotional decisions. A lot of times when people get put into a bad situation, when they need to be mentally tough, they're going to let their emotions override and make a wrong decision. But being mentally tough is no matter what situation we get into, we're able to make a good decision and not to let our emotions make that decision. So that we can stay the course no matter what happens externally. That externally means outside, not inside our body or inside our mind, but the things that are going on around us, that we stay mentally tough no matter what's going on out there externally. We could actually be in a crowd of people and they're getting ready to do something that's not right, that's not what God wants us to do. It would be sinful. But yet we can make a decision because we are mentally tough and know that it's the wrong decision to make, and then we're able to say no to that. And we're not going to be affected by anything because we have mental discipline, which is really what mental toughness is to be about. We're able to stay focused on things that are going to help us to be successful and not deviate from those things. And that's what mental toughness is in my own definition. But if we look in Matthew chapter 27 and verse 50, we have Jesus Christ. And it says, with a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. He went through some things that we can't even hardly imagine. he was probably, well, not probably, he was the most mentally tough person that's probably ever walked on this earth. But yet the reason that he did it was because he loved each and every single one of us. He put himself second. Elders of the Church of Christ, we need to put ourselves second. Preachers of the Church of Christ need to put themselves second. Deacons of the Church of Christ need to put themselves second. Members of the Church of Christ need to be mentally tough to put themselves second and put the church in front of everything. And if we can do that, God says that we're in the world, but we're not of the world. While we're here, let's be as mentally tough as we can possibly be and take other people to heaven with us. Be the example that we're supposed to be, and that they can see that mentally toughness, spiritually toughness in each and everything that we do and each and every decision that we make. We can all, if we look at what Abraham did, you know, he was told to pack his bags and go, and God would tell him where to go. Then he was told to sacrifice his son, and he was going to do it. And then you look at Noah. Noah was told to build an ark, and he was going to do it. But that's mental toughness of being able to do what God wants you to do. Thank you again for being with a short stop with a short stop.